Happy Sunday, beautiful patrons. This is your Sunday message. And this Sunday's message is this: I have no message this Sunday. Those of you who watch the vlogs that I post almost every day will know that this week I encountered a situation that was very challenging. What you may not know is that it was so similar to what I encountered all the way back in the end of 2011 that it in many ways has thrown me into an emotional tailspin. It once again brought me in conflict with City Hall and friends that I've had there for many, many years. It once again brought me in conflict with church people that I was desperately trying to maintain a friendship with. Though I don't have a message, I've definitely learned a lot of things this week. One of which would be that the emotions that you feel are the emotions that you feel. I've survived emotionally this week practicing something that I learned dealing with my feelings of anxiety and my panic disorder that developed many, many, many years ago. And that is simply to accept the emotions that you are feeling whenever the opportunity of making a choice as to how you will or will not behave presents itself, making the choice to not act out according to the volume of the emotions that you're feeling, and instead give it time to pass. And so that's what I've attempted to do over the last few days. I did not post Friday nor yesterday any vlogs simply because I wasn't convinced that I would be able to post in a way that would be free from the emotions that I was feeling. I would love to tell you that I've somehow developed a methodology for getting over these hurt feelings, for getting past the frustration. But other than writing it out, I honestly haven't. Probably like many of you, almost every morning I wake up with repetitive thoughts, mostly centered around the idea or the ambition of doing better that day. Just as I did this morning, I was very cognizant of the chatter going on in my mind as I became conscious this morning. And much of that chatter was based on the idea of doing better, having better control of my emotions, being less affected by the things in my environment that trouble me or frustrate me. And I also became aware of the fact that I do that virtually every morning. Unless something wakes me up that interrupts that thought pattern, it is habitual with me that every day I wake up with a desire to do better, a desire to be better, a desire to be happier, a desire to be less affected negatively by my environment and to be more of a positive influence in my environment. And that's probably what troubles me most about the events of this past week, is that due to my emotions, and those emotions are based off of the severity of the subjects in which myself and others were in disagreement, I felt as if I did not make a positive impact, but made a very negative impact instead. And I feel as if we live in a world that already has more than enough people in it making negative impacts. And so it's always been my desire to not be one of those people. I've admitted time and time again that that desire may be naive and may be misdirected and may be a methodology that actually doesn't achieve what it is that I wish for it to achieve. But nevertheless, just as I started off this little non-message, those desires are just like my emotions. They are what they are. And I learned, even at the very end of my Christian ministry, that if I couldn't be positive, and if I couldn't be in control of my emotions the way I desired to be in control of my emotions, if I could not somehow avoid being affected negatively by my environment or by given situations, the least I could do is be honest. Because I think any time that a person sits still and listens to what a speaker has to say, at the very least, what that person's time and energy and momentary devotion deserves is honesty from the speaker. We all sit down at times in order to be simply entertained and have no concern whatsoever over the fictionality of what is being said or what is being presented. Those are choices we make for the sake of entertainment. But there's other times when people take to the podium that I believe, would be much more greatly benefited by pure, unadulterated honesty. Could you imagine if our politicians walked to the podium and were actually honest and educated the voters in such a way that we could support policies that were pro-future, truly pro-future, and not pro-party, and not pro-today and creature comfort for today? Could you imagine how even religion itself would be changed this very day, this glorious Sunday, if every single minister walked to their pulpits and spoke with unashamed honesty? The connection, the similarities, the shared experiences between speaker and audience would allow not just the speaker and the audience to weave a more tightly woven community, but would allow all of the audience to maybe take a deep breath and to then let out a very, very relaxed sigh of relief that the human experience is so very common to all of us. I'm sure that's true whether we're rich or poor, regardless of our skin tone, regardless of what part of the planet we originate from. I am certain that the human experience is very common. And it is because of that certainty, and it is because of my desire to always be honest with you, that I simply give you this non-message message. Because I have to believe that so many of you wake up every morning with racing thoughts towards perfection, that so many of you have no secret method of dealing with negative emotions other than waiting them out. I have to believe that we share this common experience of being disappointed by people, of being misunderstood by people, of living with regret over the idea that we've left a situation more negatively than positively. I have to believe that being honest is one of the most important parts of being brave.